I'm doing good, so how are you?
I'm also good. So how does it feel to be in XLRA?
So it's quite a surreal feeling, to be very honest. I'm still in the process of accepting that I'm finally here. Uh, After that, I pasted a picture of the gate on my wall, and yeah, it's truly a dream come true.
Very nice. Did you convert it or were you on waitlist and then converted or did you directly convert it?
So, sir, I had two calls, Jamshedpur BM. Like, I had the BM call and HRM call as well. And so, when the results came out, I had Delhi BM converted. I was waitlisted at Jamshedpur BM, and I was waitlisted for HRM as well.
Okay, good. So you joined Jamshedpur, right?
Yes, Jamshedpur HRM.
Okay, very nice. One thing I wanted to ask is when I was looking at your profile, you scored 89 percentile in CAT, right? But you
Yeah,
scored very well in ZAT. It is 98.5.
yes.
So what happened? What worked for you in ZAT?
So I think that CAT was a lot of intense. Like the pressure before CAT was a lot because it's a 2 hour exam, so you have to give it your all in those 2 hours. And for me, I think that time frame was a little less for me to be able to perform to my best. And post CAT, I was obviously very sad that my exam didn't go very well. So I decided to like step back a little, relax a little, and be very accepting of that. That okay, it's not that it's the end of the world. I can still make it. So I approached that with a very calm and relaxed mindset. I honestly did not study a lot for that. I just focused on decision making and revised my quants and VALA. I did the sectionals of Krapu and gave mocks, gave past year papers, and that's it. So, like, I think what made a difference was the approach to my exam. I went with a very, very positive mindset before I started that I'm ready to begin button. I was like, okay, this is my exam and I'm gonna make it. I had that self belief in me, and eventually, I think it worked in my favor.
Okay, very nice. One thing I wanted to ask is okay, positive mindset, but how did it come? Like, what is the difference between, like, say, 1 week before CAT and 1 week before that? In your mindset, did you make any changes? Did you talk to anybody? Something like that. What made you have that positive mindset? What's that?
With the mindset was that the pressure was building a lot before CAT. Everyone was like, "Oh, you've prepared. This is your third attempt." It was my third attempt, and it's quite embarrassing. But I've been a Krakow student for past 3 years. So yeah, so the pressure was a lot, and I just as at the back of my mind I started thinking, okay, I want to switch my job. If this doesn't work out, I'll have to look for companies and like then I don't know like how I'm gonna switch because the job market is not doing very well right now. So I think I made sort of a mistake over there that I was not very positive with CAT. But with that, I saw everyone was like kind of disappointed that my exam didn't go very well, including my parents. They were very, very tensed of what I'm going to do. So I think like seeing them tensed, I was like, okay, let's just relax a bit. I think something is going to work out. And let's just have the faith in the process, whatever efforts I've put in for the past so many years. Um, that is the thing. I think it's sort of the fear of I don't know what is going to happen that made me kind
Mm,
of self believe that okay, something is going to happen.
mm. That's right. In fact, see, I discuss with my friends also. Many times when I take a decision, okay, when I take a decision when my mind is calm, the decisions are very high quality. I like when I cycle in the morning every time, and after I cycle, I can sense that my mind is very peaceful, and I try to take any important decisions like business related decisions also at that time because I feel when my mind is not overthinking, the decisions I make are actually pretty good. No, basically, what I was wanting to say is when I am a firm believer that when the number of thoughts in our head are lesser, we make good decisions. So I feel that maybe with what you are telling me, that maybe before CAT, there were like too many things going on in your head, probably because of which you maybe underperformed on the day of the exam.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, one thing I wanted to ask you is your journey with the CAT. You were saying that you took Krakow 3 times, right? That is also something that we ourselves don't talk about. Okay, the number of people or the percentage of people who actually enroll to Krakow. Okay, if that is say X. Okay, um, a big chunk of them are actually people who have bought Krakow for the second time. Because to be really
Mm.
honest, not a lot of people know about Krakow. I mean, people know of Krakow, but it is mostly through word of mouth or something like that. And mostly people who have used it like it and then they take it again. But it is something that we don't want to so because even I feel that okay, if somebody has enrolled in an ideal situation, I want them to convert and just take crack only once. Okay, that is something that even I would want. But yeah, these kind of things happen. Now, yeah, basically, I wanted to know about your story. You said that you took CAT 3 times, right? So when did you start preparing for MBA? Why did you want to do MBA? Just those kind of things.
So like it started back when I was in 11th, 12th. I took the decision of pursuing science, and we moved from Nasik to Hyderabad at that time. So my father took the decision of moving to Hyderabad because the education there is very good. I got enrolled at FIIT Darshak Nagar in Hyderabad, and during the course, I realized that I'm not really liking the subjects that I'm studying. First, they were very fast paced, and I did not have the foundational knowledge to kind of work upon it. So, I was like, "Ki, since I have committed to this, let's just go with it." And then the JE happened. It didn't go very well, but I was lucky enough to convert a state government college in my hometown. So I was like, "Ki, chalo, theek hai, kar lete hain yahi." Then, like when I was giving my entrance exam, I also prepared for IP MAT, and that intrigued quite a lot of interest in me because the kind of problems I was solving for IP MAT were very, very, very interesting. I was doing logical reasoning over there, solving VALR, so it was very nice. So I felt like, okay, maybe I can do an MBA after my engineering. That thought was there since then. So I started preparing for MBA in fourth year or mid third year of my college. And at that time, in my first attempt, I scored a DI 85 percentile, but I kind of converted I am Sambalpur. But I knew in my heart that I don't want to go to you know not a tier one college again. So I was like, I'll do again. And then I also had an offer, job offer. So I was like, okay. Then in my second attempt, I scored a 90 point something percentile. Then again in third attempt, 89. And funny was that, like in my second attempt of that, I scored a 90 percentile, in which I had 0 marks in quad. It's not that I didn't solve any questions, but my all of my questions just went wrong. So I was very stunned seeing 0 marks because I'm an engineer. I know quads. And so this year I was like, "Ki, I don't know, but I'm going to clear the cut of quads." And I did.
Very nice. So how much did you score in ZAT once you scored 90? Before that, how much? Because this time you scored very well in ZAT. The first time, did you take ZAT
Yeah.
or the first time you took CAT?
I took that in the first time, but I don't remember my percentile. But I know it wasn't very great. It was around 70s or something. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So at least one good thing that you did is one of the things that I notice is students don't take ZAT the first time. Like the first 1-2 times, they just take only one exam, which is CAT, which I always tell them is a mistake. The more exams you take, the better you'll be prepared if you have to repeat CAT again. At least that seems to be good. Now, coming back to your ZAT journey, your CAT didn't go well. Did you have any shortlist, or maybe you didn't have any shortlist that you were really excited about
So
from
I
CAT?
just had I am Sambalpur shortlist. I was not very excited upon it, but I was like, "Okay, theek hai." I eventually also
Okay,
converted I am Sambalpur, but I let go of that offer because I already had an offer from Exeter.
very good. Now, after that was done, did you? But there would be a lot of uncertainty, no, whether they will get shortlist or not get shortlist, or were you
Yeah.
sure at that time that you would get shortlist?
I wasn't sure definitely, but again, I carried on that belief that I'm going to get in. I'm going to get a short list, and that answer key was also released.
Mhm.
Crapo also released
Mhm.
the answer key, and there were a lot of discussions happening around it.
Yeah.
So I found that my DM marks were on the borderline of cutoff. So
Okay.
that was very dicey. I was clearing everything else. My overall
Okay.
percentile was also nice, but DM was something that was bothering me. But still, I kept believing, nahi, mujhe shortlist, I'm going to make it. So, but yeah, I didn't start GDPR preparation early on. I just chilled, watched a lot of movies, web series, went out. Yeah.
Mhm. That's good. And how was your interview preparation after you got the shortlist? You had two calls. You wanted to convert both of them. So how did you prepare?
So, for my interview preparation as well, I made sure that it was not very intense. I took a nice trip to Bangalore to attend a wedding, so that was kind of a breather. But what I did was, I make sure that every day I'm practicing a GD with my like group we found a group on Reddit and we kind of connected and we practiced GD every night. Minimum one GD, that is on a topic both of like business management and human resource management. So that I think really helped, because someone who doesn't have an idea of GD and doesn't exactly know how to speak and how can you make your points without offending someone else. So GD preparation I started, and interview preparation I started by doing the basic hygiene questions. Tell me about yourself and what is your journey, a bit about my own life or what all I have done and what are the incidents that have really impacted me. I went through all of that, and then of course the current affairs and a bit about the company I was working in, how many employees we have, the market share, the revenue, everything.
Okay, interesting. One other question is, before you entered the interview hall, was there any topic that you are not comfortable talking about? Because people have something or the other, they have this insecurities. No, I hope they don't ask about gap year or my ACADS or something like that. Or were you like not carefree? Was there any particular one or two issues that you're not comfortable?
Yes, there was my engineering topics were not something that I'm comfortable with. Being a COVID student, I obviously like didn't study a lot for my engineering, and I was just very scared that I just hope they don't ask something of engineering, but they actually did, and I think I did decent in it. I might have gotten some questions wrong, but it was still fine.
Hmm. Very nice. So after the interviews were done, how were you feeling immediately after coming out? Were you, because some people have a sense, some people feel that okay, this went well, or some people feel, oh, I messed up here. How did you feel after coming out of the interview hall?
So after my BM interview, I was very sad that it did not go very well, because they asked me a graph and I kind of drew it ulta. So, and they kept trying to push me into the right direction, but I just didn't get it that time. So I was very, very sad about it. I thought, oh, BM has gone bad. But when the results came out, it was very surprising that I had a convert from Delhi BM, and a lot of people whose interviews went really well and they had really high percentiles, unfortunately couldn't make it. So yeah, and I was also waitlisted with I mean, I want to say convertible waitlist, but a decent waitlist for Jamshedpur PA. So that was very surprising. We don't know what the panelist is looking for. Even if you're giving wrong answers or you're just saying, I'm sorry, I don't know this, there's a chance that you're looking for something beyond your own answers. So it's very hard to tell what they're actually saying in
Mhm.
you.
True, true. There are many things. For example, in communication also, I read somewhere that 90% of the communication is non-verbal. So even if somebody is saying something, okay, whatever is being communicated from words is only 10%. So they might feel that, okay, maybe this guy is confident or not confident or something or the other in the body language might be told to the interviewer, which the person who is giving the interview will not realize. So even I have experienced so many of students who either say they did a poor interview or they did a very good interview, but the results will be exact opposite. So that happens. But okay, good. So before we end the interview, I want to ask you two things, which I ask every student. One thing that you think you did well, okay, and one mistake that you think you made in your entire journey.
So one thing I did well for that was that I had a very strong, firm belief that I'm going to go to XLRI some way or the another. I don't know how, when, what, but I'm going to make it there. So you need to have a lot of faith, because this process is very ambiguous. It's very luck based. So if you have that faith in you, you're going to do a lot well than you were if you were very underconfident. Even for my interviews, I went with a mindset that um, a lot of people are there. They might be better than me. They might not be better than me. I am how I am. I'm definitely going to improve, but I'm going to put my best foot forward, and I'm going to make it somehow or the other. But unfortunately, the mistake I did for CAT is that I did not have this self belief and this confidence in me. Uh, Maybe because I was underconfident about the preparation I've done. So, or or of other mental reasons, but not having that confidence on the D day really affects your performance.
Yeah, yeah, 100% agreed with that. Yeah, and okay, I think you said both the good thing and the bad thing. So yeah, very nice. I actually learned a lot. Okay, I actually like interviewing also because, and I asked students also about their journeys, because when I talk to them, I also try to figure out what are the mistakes they made, what worked, what doesn't work. So, and many times I feel that okay, from this interview also I learned something. So again, I think I can sense the importance of having a positive mindset. which is nice because many
Mm.
people, even I probably would have underestimated its importance, but I think it's very important. Very
So
nice,
it's truly
Nandini.
an
Very nice.
honor to speak to you.
No,
I've been watching
it's a
you
pleasure.
and Siley ma'am for like so many years now, and yeah, it's a very like I'm very grateful that I had this opportunity to interact with you today.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nandini. All the best for XLRA. Many students from Krakow went to XLRA. Many people who worked in Krakow also went there. So
Oh,
if you don't know, you would
I
figure
would
out
love to
who are the two
connect.
guys.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I'll just put up a message in the
there is
group.
one guy in HRM and there's one guy in
Okay,
BM from XL has been to go. Yeah, they worked at Krakow.
okay,
You'll figure out both of them. Say hi to both of them.
okay.
Okay,
Yes,
you will figure out
definitely, sir.
in like a few weeks. Okay, cool then. Okay, nice talking to you.
Okay, and so please convey my regards to Siley ma'am as well.
Sure, we'll do that.